Hi and welcome back to the continuation of training table 2A, and a little mistake in the end of the previous video. I need you to create, I think I asked you guys to align the chairs with the width of the table, and so the one that makes the chair in the center, you can align as per usual, but the one that has the offset itself, when you do the alignment, you need to press the tab key once here. You can look at my screen at the bottom left hand corner. Okay, here, later when I point it, you'll see the word here. It says weak reference. You need to press the tab key once so that it just says reference itself. Okay, so while you're doing for the opposite direction as well, okay, the one in centralizing it is okay, but the one that goes to the offset, okay, when you do the alignment, be sure to press the tab key once so that it changes from weak reference to reference and lock it. Okay, so I'll explain to you why we will need to do that step after we're done with some other things in the family. For now, just remember to tap it. And so we are done with the one that is on the width of the table. So if you're going to change the width of the table, you should be able to, or you change the length of the table, you can see that the chairs are moving together, and that's perfect here. And the next one we're going to do is to create chairs on the one side of the table. Maybe just let's focus on the top, okay? And I want you to create a dimension from the reference plane. And for this, again, press the tab key one time. Okay, you can see it's a weak reference. Once you click on tab once, it will become reference. So just leave it there. And I want this to be set as offset as well. So there's offset here. And while you do the alignment, tap again one time, then align, then lock. Okay, we're going to use the array tool instead of the copy tool. So click on the chair, click on array, and make sure you set this as last. Okay, group and associate is turned on, number is 2, and last. Okay, so just click, just like you will use a copy tool. Just put it somewhere, anywhere. Okay, it doesn't matter. And for this, you got to create a dimension from the other side, and to this object over here, press the tab key once again. Okay, and for the front, I'll just align, tab key once, then align, press the lock key. This should be offset as well. Let me see here. Okay, we're going to create, after we're done with this, I'm going to put this to the side so it doesn't get too confusing. Okay, it's too small. Okay, and we're going to create a parameter that allows you to change the number of chairs on this array itself. So you can see if you click on any portion, any families that are arrayed, they will have this kind of like a dimension over here. You can click on the number, type in anything you want. You can see it starts to generate more chairs as you increase the number. So I'm just going to undo and keep it as 2 for now. We're going to click on the line itself instead of the number so that we can create a parameter that users will be able to adjust on their own. So this will be called the number of chairs. Okay, we just call this the number of chairs for this array, and you can see, let's go and change the length as well as the width, and just to make sure everything is working perfectly. So you can see everything is fine in this family itself. And the next thing that we want to do is to do it for the opposite direction as well. So when you copy, if you can just go click the create button, and then the component button is here. Do not mirror these two. Okay, you can see when you hover above the array object, they have a red dotted lines, and whereas the normal ones is, the blue dotted lines, if yours is blue, and then for this you will see that it's just a thick blue lines, I suppose. So do not mirror these two, just create a new one. Okay, go on the opposite direction, do the dimension, press the tab key before you do the dimension, before you align, tab again, and this will be offset, this will be arrayed. Okay, do the dimension here, tab once, press the offset, align to the front, lock it. So there you go. Set this as number of chairs as well. So both sides should have equal numbers of chairs. So when you set this to 3, you have 3 chairs. Right. So the next thing we're going to do is to make sure that as the length increases, Revit will put in more chairs for us. So what we can do for that to happen is to create a formula. This is not necessary. So we're going to create a formula that simply says, let me see, length minus 2 times offset, or maybe 6 times offset, okay, divided by 500, because the length of the chair is 500. Okay, the length of the chair is 500, so that's why I divide by 500. But instead of using 500, I'm just going to create a new parameter called the chair length. Okay, that'll be much better than using 500, and I'll just bring chair length to the bottom here, and instead of dividing by 500, I'll just divide by chair length. Division by 0. Okay, chair length must change the chair length to be 500. It cannot be 0 first, and then you can use it in the formula. Okay, so you can see if you were to increase the length to 3000, and you have more number of chairs, when you click the OK button, there is more chairs. And maybe your question is why I would multiply the offset by 6. there might be a good reason to multiply the offset by 2, as you see below. Each length comprised of 2 offset minimum, so it's 2 times offset. And the reason why I use a 6 times offset is because I want to make sure that there is at least some gaps between the chairs. And the higher your multiplier, you can multiply 8 or 10. Okay, basically the more you multiply, there is going to be a bigger gap between each chair. So 6 is just a good number for me. I feel that as long as more than 2, because if you set it as 2, then there might be a situation where your chairs will just stick together and it's not very good representation. So I just keep it at 6. You can use a number between 6 to 10, I suppose. Okay, so this chair is this table and chair family itself can now be expanded to accommodate more chairs on the side of the length. And we will just try to load this into the project environment. So if you have a project environment, go ahead and load it inside your project. This is the old one. I'm just going to delete the old one here. So this is the one that we have our current status. Okay, and you can see that if you go to edit type, if you change the length, the number of chairs will be adjusted. And there will come a point in time if you were to go come a point of time where the length is too short that you only can be able to place 1 chair. Okay, so we need to make a modification to create a scenario where the table is intelligent enough so that there will only be 1 chair around. So I'm just going to create this, just place 1 additional chair on one side and on the other side. And these 2 chairs have a special property under the visibility graphics panel. This will be known as the solo chair. Okay, solo, and this will be solo as well. The solo means that they exist on their own. So the problem with using an array is that if your length is too small, you minimum need to have 2 chairs. You cannot change it to 0 chairs, you cannot change it to 1 chair. So we need to create a separate piece of chair on the outside that later we will just align to the center of the table that will just be there for 1 chair itself. So this is 2 sides is solo, and now we're going to click on the array elements, double click on it, edit type, and let me see, no, not edit type, but visible. So this array is responsible for multiple chairs, so I just name it multi. And you don't have to do every single chair, just any 1 chair in the array. So this array, okay, any 1 chair, and you got to do for the other side as well. Any one of the chairs will do. So I'm just going to pick this chair, click on this, click on visible, multi is already created, select, and finish. So, and what we need to do here is to align the chair to the center, as well as remember to press the tab key, align here. So there'll be a kind of a notification, ignore that, that's fine. And here as well. Okay, so there's a multi-chair and there's a solo chair. And we're going to proceed by creating, you'll notice that if your length is too small, like 1000, Revit will produce an error because, again, the number of chairs parameter cannot be 0 or 1 simply because it is being part of the array function. Array function cannot be 0 or 1. So we need to create a formula that will kind of override this issue over here that you see right now. So the minimum, we're going to first calculate the minimum length required that will not fall below 2 chairs. So I'm just going to create a new parameter here, and I'll need minimum length required, and I'll keep it as a length parameter type here, which is fine. Press the OK button. For this minimum length required, I'm going to put it under others instead of dimensions. Okay, most of your calculations should stay away from dimensions, and all those things, that formulas that are working behind the scene, just put it somewhere else that people will not frequently visit. So for minimum length required, I'm going to type in the formula of 2 times chair length, because minimum I need to have 2 chairs, and I'm going to plus 6 times offsets, so is to avoid scenarios where the chairs are too close. So that will give me about 1600. So we need to adjust this number of chairs formula such that this will not show 1, because if this is 1, if you press the OK button, Revit is going to give you an error. So I'm just going to modify it this way. If length is smaller than minimum length required, set it as 2. Otherwise, just if it's larger than the minimum length, then just work as is intended. That should be fine. And the only thing that needs to be done here is to make sure you put, let me see, length 6 times offset. You put a bracket here and here, that will be fine. Okay, I think there is one more bracket here. Okay, so here you go. This should be the formula. So you can see that although the length is 1000, number of chairs is 2 when it's supposed to be 1. That's because if the length is smaller than the minimum length required, using the if function, okay, whatever is true, if it's true, set it as 2. If it's false, just straight away go and use the default formula to count the number of chairs. So that is the formula for this itself. And next we're going to, let me see, I'll just bring this down as well. and that will be fine here. And in this formula bar here, okay, we want multi to appear. Okay, multi is the array. Okay, the array of those chairs to appear if the length is more than the minimum length required. Okay, so if the length is 1000 and the minimum length required is 1600, multi should not show because there's actually no space for 2 chairs. So even though the array has 2 chairs, there are 2 hidden chairs that nobody can actually see, and the one that you should see is the solo chair, because if you only have 1000 in length, you can only place 1 chair. So the solo, either any point of time, the solo or the multi are inverse of one another, so there's no way that both of them can be checked at the same time. So to do that, just for the solo formula, just put it as using the not function, not multi. So what this means is that if multi is turned on, solo is turned off. If multi is off, then solo is turned on. So it will always be the opposite of multi this way. So if your length is too small, okay, we have 2 invisible chairs, 2 chairs for the array, because it cannot be 1 or 0, but it just can't be seen, and the solo chair will take its place. If you have a big table, 3000, you can see there's a total of 5 chairs, and we will show the array to make it visible, and the solo chair can just be invisible because it's not necessary in playing a part as part of the number of chairs in total. So for that, press the OK button. They show some error, just go ahead, press OK again. Load into project. Okay, press the bottom. Okay, so what happens if you change it to a length of 1000? You'll notice that it becomes 1 chair. So this is not the array chair. Remember, the array cannot be 0 or 1, and therefore this is actually the solo chair that you're looking at right now. And so we are back at the family environment, and this time what we're going to do here is to make sure that the users can choose the chair that they want. And for now, there's only 1 type of chair in this family, and so I need you to go to open up training table, training chair 2B, and load training chair 2B into the table family that you are using at the moment. And you don't have to place the training chair 2B down. Okay, that's not necessary, so just press the escape button twice, click on the existing chair, go to label, add parameter, and name this as chair option. Okay, there's nothing else you need to change, just press the OK button. Okay, and for the other side, and make sure to choose chair option as well. So both sides of the chairs are chair option. And the ones for the array, click on it, chair options is selected as well. Make sure it's selected because I selected it beforehand, so make sure you select it on your own here. Same for the other side, this should be chair option. Because it's 2 separate arrays, this 5 chair is 1 array, this 5 chair is another array, so you have to do it both times. And there's a solo chair in the middle, you might need to tap, okay, to find the chair. And let me see. Okay, make sure the solo chair is also, you need to tap a few times to find the solo chair, meaning as training table to training, chair options instead, yeah. Okay, so now if you change your width, I think there will be an error, but don't worry about the error. You can see that the chairs start to slant. All you need to do is make sure you align them, align the last chair, lock it. Same for the other side, and lock it as well. And another thing that you might notice is they remove the offset from this one. And this one doesn't, okay, these two, they remove the offset, so just make sure to put it back again. That should be fine. So I'm just going to play with some of the values, maybe 2500, width is 1000, make sure that everything is going well. Yes, everything is going well, so the users now are able to pick the chairs that they want. And lastly, we're going to change the chair to, let me see, the chair, we're going to associate the parameter because the chair has its own height, length, seat height, and width. So we're just going to focus on the length. The length of the chair must be associated with the chair length of this family environment. Okay, this is how you associate just by clicking on the gray button. The length of the chair is represented by chair length in this environment. Press the OK button, press OK again. So whenever you change the chair length, okay, you can see that the chair goes bigger. If you do not associate it, then whatever number you place here, you wouldn't see a difference in the size of the chair. So make sure to associate this parameter here. And the other thing is we are going to change the length to be instance parameter. Okay, so you receive an error if you try to change the length to be instance parameter. And the first thing that you need to change to instance parameter is the length, number of chairs to be instance, multi to be instance. Okay, so multi is driven by solo, so solo needs to be instance first. Multi now can be instance, and let me see, length can finally be instance parameter. So the reason why I want to set the length as instance parameter is because I want to allow the users to be able to have a drag handle in the project. So what I mean by drag handle, when you click on the chair, you can see now it has this drag handle over here, and this drag handle only appears if you are using an instance parameter. If you have a type parameter, then there will be no drag handles for you. So that's the reason why I changed to instance parameter. And that is the end of I guess training table 2A. Yep. So thank you so much, and see you in the next one.